All right, so we're going to discuss the quadratic formula. So quadratic formula is just a method that is used to simplify what we call quadratic equations. We know that the general format of a quadratic equation is usually in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, okay? Where a, b, and c, these are basically integers. They are numbers, can be positive or negative numbers, okay? So sometimes there are questions that we cannot factorize using factors, okay? I mean, we cannot solve them using the factors. So the only approach that we can use has to be the quadratic formula at our level. And the quadratic formula tells us that if we have negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, we should be able to get the two answers. Remember, the degree of the expression is 2, so we expect the two answers. So this plus and the minus sign will provide an alternative for the two answers that we need. So in any sort of equation, okay, that you have, what you need to do is just create or form what we call a standard equation or a standard form. Change everything to a standard form. Standard form simply means everything should be on one side, and then on the other side, you have just your 0. Okay, and then from there, identify your A, identify your B, and then identify your C, substitute into the formula, and get your answers. Okay, so let's see if we have this kind of question. 2x squared plus 9x is equal to 5. So this is not a standard form. I'll move the 5 to that side. So I'll have my 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0. All right. So let me start by using just the factors, okay? And I see the answers I have, then I'll use the quadratic formula just to see that I get the same answers, okay? So with the factors, I can open my two brackets. For me to get the 2x squared, I'll have the 2x, then I'll have the x. Then for me to get negative 5, I should have a 5 somewhere here and a 1. But this is a positive, this is a negative. So I'm going to keep the positive here and then the negative there. Because if I open these two brackets, I should be able to get back to that. So it's 2x squared. That's going to be a 10 minus 1, which is a 9, and then negative 5, okay? So from our dot product, we know that 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 5 is equal to 0. And then I'll just solve this, so which means my x is going to be 1 over 2, or x has to be negative 5. Now that is if I'm using the factors. I'm lucky this question can be solved using the factors. Now there are times where the question cannot be factorized, okay? And the only option we have is just to use the quadratic formula. So from this standard form that I've created, I know that my A is a 2, my B is a 9, and then my C is a negative 5. And then all I'll do is write the formula first. Okay, so x is negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Everything is over the 2a. So we just have to remember this formula at all times, okay? Just know how to rewrite it out nicely. All right, so let's do the substitutions. We're gonna say that negative b, so it's a negative with a 9, and then plus minus the square root of, that's gonna be 9 squared, minus, let me put this in brackets, it's gonna be 4, multiplied by the a, which is a 2, multiplied by the c, which is a negative 5. This is all over 2 multiplied by 2. And then from this level, you can just punch this into your calculator, okay? Alternatively, you can go ahead and simplify it further. So it's gonna be negative 9 plus minus, that's gonna be the square root of 9 squared is gonna be 81, okay? And then this is gonna be a plus since we have a negative sign. So that's going to be 20 and then 40. So which means it is 121. Okay, over 4. So we know that the square root of 121 is 11. So it's going to be a negative 9 plus minus 11 over 4. Now, for you to get the two answers, we have to use one sign at a time, okay? So if you're using your calculator directly, when it comes to the sign, you can start with a plus sign, get your answer, and then just track back and then switch the sign to a negative so that you get your second answer. So if I'm to look at the positive part, it will be negative 9 plus 11 over 4. We know that negative 9 plus 11, that's going to give us a positive 2 over 4. That gives us a half, which we got here. Or it could be a 0.5. Then if we use the negative part, it's going to be negative 9 minus 11 over 4. That's negative 20 divided by 4, which gives us a negative 5. Okay, so like we said in this case, this question can be solved either way. Okay, but in most cases, if we have a question like, let's say the second option or the second question, where they give you a condition that round off your answer to 2 decimal places, automatically you cannot factor this out, okay? The only option to do is the quadratic formula. All right, so remember what we said? Just create the standard form. Let me move this and that to that side. There has to be a change of signs, okay? So it's gonna be 3x squared minus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. So from here, I can see that my A is a 3, my B is a negative 4 number with a sign in front, and then the C is a negative 5. Having obtained that, okay, so write down the formula, which is going to be x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Everything is over 2a. So I'm not gonna drag this for long. I'll just substitute and then get my answers directly from the calculator. So since the b was a negative, then I already have a negative in front there, so it means it's gonna be a positive. So negative and negative 4 plus minus, this is gonna be a negative 4 squared. Please, you put the brackets, 4 multiplied by the a, which is a 3, and then the c, which is a negative 5. This is all over 2 multiplied by 3. So just writing the formula is advantageous. Most cases we can give you a mark for that, okay? Substitution into the formula and then the answers. Please, you must avoid just using the calculator and then you just write the answers. No, that is incorrect, okay? So what we say is x is equal to, that's gonna be a 4, plus minus the root of, that's gonna be a 16. This is a 20 times 3, that is a 60, which means square root of 76 over 6. So our x is going to be negative 0.786, which is the same as 77. Or the second value is gonna be 2.12. If I'm round off just 2 decimal places, okay? So these will be the answers to what the question was asking for, okay? So remember, standard form, the formula, the substitution, and then your answers. So roughly 4 marks or 5, okay? Let's look at part C. Part C, we have 7 minus x plus 2 brackets into x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, let's see. So we cannot use dot product because it's not a bracket. So which means we have to open up everything. So I'll say 7 minus I'll open this up. That's x squared. Okay, this and that's going to be a 3x. The 2 and the x is going to be a 2x. The 2 and the 3, that's going to be a 6 is equal to 0. And then 7 minus, I'll have x squared. This and this is a 5x, so it means it's going to be minus 5x. And then I'll have a minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay. Now the standard form is going to be negative x squared minus 5x. Now 7 minus 6 is going to be a plus 1 is equal to 0. So I can use it this way, or I would rather divide through by a negative. X squared plus 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. So this expression or this equation will be very hard for me to factor out, which means I can use my quadratic, okay? So negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, everything is over 2a. So from here, we can see that the a is a 1. There's no number here, so it's a 1. Then b is going to be a 5, and then our c is going to be negative 1. So let's just substitute that into that formula so that we get our answers. All right, so let's use the calculator. Let's use the calculator. We say it's going to be negative 5 plus minus square root of negative 5 squared. Please put that in brackets, because if you don't, it's going to give us something weird or something different. Okay, so that's minus 4. Our a is 1, and then our c is a negative 1. This is all over 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, then we can just punch this into the calculator. Let's punch that into the calculator. And then what I'm getting is that the first x value is negative 5,19. Negative 5,19. And then my second x value is going to be 0,19. 0,19. Okay. So formula, substitution, and then your answers. If you still have time, you can simplify what is under the sign and then get the answers, okay? That is option C. Then let's look at option D. Option D, or question D. If we have 2x squared minus 5x is equal to 12. Let's create a standard form. So it's going to be a 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 is equal to 0. If you have a quicker way of factoring out, if you know how to factor out, well and good, go ahead, okay? But I'm going to use the quadratic what? The quadratic formula, because the question is open. Okay, so my a is a 2, b is a negative 5, c is a negative 12. Let's substitute negative b plus minus, that's b squared minus 4ac, everything is over 2a. Let's change this and say, okay. So that's going to be a negative into negative 5 plus minus, that's the square root of negative 5 squared minus 4. We say the a is a 2, and then the c is a negative 12. Okay, all this is over 2 multiplied by 2. Okay, so when I punch that into my calculator, punch this into the calculator, what are we getting? I'm getting x as a 4, and then my other x is just 1,5, which is negative. So remember, the question never told us 2 decimals, okay? But had it been that we're having just decimals for both of them, then we're going to round off. So which means you could use even factors to answer this question. So that is D. And then E, we have x minus 4, x plus 2 is equal to 7. Now remember, we cannot, okay, use the dot product and say x minus 4 is equal to 7 or x plus 2 is equal to 7. This would be wrong, okay? So we just have to open it up and then create a standard form. So opening the brackets, I'll have my x squared plus 2x minus 4x. That's going to be a minus 8 is equal to 7 using the FOIL approach, okay? Use the FOIL since it's a binomial and the binomial. So let's collect the like terms and create a standard form. So that's going to be x squared. That and that is minus 2x. If I move this one that side, it's going to be a minus 15 is equal to 0. So I can use my factors since I can factor this out. For me to get x squared, it has to be x and x. For me to get 15, I can use 5 and 3. Okay, since it's a negative, then this will be a negative. This will be a positive, is equal to 0. So either x minus 5 is a 0 or x plus 3 is a 0. Then from here, we know that x is going to be 5 if we solve and make x the subject, or our x is going to be a negative 3. All right. So alternatively, we said we can use the quadratic, negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Everything is over 2a. All right, so we know that our b, let's see, our a is a 1, b is a negative 2, and then c is a negative 15. If we just do the substitution, so it's a negative with a negative 2, plus minus negative 2 squared, minus 4, the a is a 1, the c is a negative 15. Everything is over 2 times 1. So first answer for x should be just the same as what we got now. So there is no limitation to which answer comes first or which one comes last, okay? For as long as we have the correct answers, we shall give you all your marks. All right, guys, so that is how we use this quadratic formula of ours. So if you have challenges, okay, especially learners that find it hard to do the factorization, please just use the quadratic formula. No one is going to penalize you. You get all your full marks, okay? All right, so let's stop there. Let's meet again in the next episode.